Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of factoring trinomials. This is standard A.10E in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 14 of the 2022 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we have an expression here, and they've already given us a little bit of the factored form, right? So it's a trinomial because it's got three terms, right? And it's in this ax squared plus bx plus c format here, and we're looking for this k. Now, this is a free response, so there's no f, g, h, or j for us to choose from. We're going to have to be very careful with selecting the correct k, but let's go ahead and just write this. So if I'm looking at this ax squared, right, and really it's d squared minus d minus 6, right? So this ax squared, I'm looking for this a leading coefficient, and there's not anything there. It's just a blank, right? If we're obviously going to substitute in the d's for the x's, there's nothing there. So we can say a equals 1. And then I've got this bx. Now, there is something there. It's a negative 1. Right? So negative 1d, negative d, same thing. And then I've got a plus c. Now we at least have something, right? We've got this negative 6. Now, the reason we're going to do all this is because we're going to use, not the only way to do it, but the way I prefer, the diamond method. So the diamond method is a highly efficient algorithm that we could use. And so what we're going to do in the top, we're going to take our a term and our c term, we're going to multiply them. So that means 1 times negative 6, so that's just going to get us a big negative 6 up there. Down below, we're going to take our b term, just negative 1. All right? And then in our left and our right side, we're going to look for factors. We're going to write ax over factor, ax over factor. So what's my a? My a is 1, so I'm just going to write x over, and then x over. And we knew this, right, that we didn't have any coefficients. Obviously, we can go back and we can replace the x's with the d's. I just prefer the x's myself. So we're looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 6 and that add to negative 1. The fact that it's a negative 6 lets me know one of them is going to be positive, one of them is going to be negative, right? So we've got 6 doesn't have many options. 1 and 6, 2 and 3. That's it. So we need to find a way to make it negative 1. So one of these is going to have to be negative. Can't do anything with the 1 and 6, but watch, if we do a negative 3, right? So 2 times negative 3 will get me negative 6, but 2 minus 3 gets me my negative 1. So watch this. These are my two terms, 2 and negative 3. That make negative 6. And then 2 plus negative 3, or 2 minus 3. However you prefer to say that, is going to get me my minus 1. So those are my two factors. So I'm going to write that under here, 2 and negative 3. Now we write them as fractions because sometimes you get a leading coefficient. You might get an a that's greater than 1, and you use it to simplify. There's no way to simplify this, so we just write these as our two binomials. X, and then the bottom part, this is a positive 2, so x plus 2. And then x, and then I've got a minus 3, or negative 3. Now, let's replace these with d, so we can get back to what this problem looks like, d minus 3, because look, I've already got a d plus 2, so that's there. So they want d plus, and I've got a d minus 3. So I can rewrite this as d plus negative 3. That's what it's going to need to be. So when I'm bubbling this in, I'm going to need to put a 3 and then make sure that I grab that negative over here to the side, and that is my answer, negative 3.